Konbanwa minasan, kyo desu. So it's been a while since I've made a commentary video, so I figured I'd just make one because I haven't made one in a while. So let me know if you guys enjoy these kind of videos so I would make more in the future. So give a like, comment below, all that good stuff. Stereotypes, that's the topic. When I was younger, I used to think that stereotypes were these things that racist or ignorant people made about, different kinds of people just to, belittle them or make fun of them or, start rumors about a certain group of people. And the more I got older, the more I realized that a lot of stereotypes are actually based in truth. The saying goes, when you're younger, you're very liberal. You have a much more kumbaya-esque or more liberal-like mindset. But the older you get, they say the more conservative you get. So I guess that's pretty much what happened to me. But one talking point a lot of young people think about is that, stereotypes don't exist, or there's no basis for stereotypes, and that everyone of every group is pretty much the same, and the same factors that happen in this group happens in that group at the same capacity. And for me, I don't believe that anymore. I really don't. I think stereotypes exist because there's a pattern of behaviors or actions that a certain people do. And I think over time, as you see more evidence or more of this kind of behavior or mindset practice with a group of people, you start to attach a mindset behavior to that group of people. It's the same way how there's the stereotypes that black people, all black people, or most black people are great at basketball. I remember when I went to Japan and I was with my friend Shoy, and we went to the park, and I remember all the little Japanese boys were looking at me like, oh, Kokujin. Because we went to a basketball court, they all looked at me thinking that, oh, I was gonna dominate. But I suck at basketball. Basketball was one of my least skilled sports. I'm more of a football player, even though, there's a lot of black people that play football. But you get the point. What I'm saying is that, because you see a lot of NBA players tend to be black, you associate being black with being good at basketball. It's the same way with Asians in math. I used to, there's a big stereotype that we make fun of in America that all Asians are like human calculators and that Asians are smart, and stereotypes can be good or bad. Some are, stereotypes are negative, and sometimes they're very good. And with Asians, I understand why now that stereotype exists, is because I think before I even say that, I think what people need to understand is that you need to understand the whole picture of why people believe the way that they do. I think if you understand why someone believes what they believe, then you can kind of pinpoint what was the root cause of them thinking that way, or why does society think that way as a whole. And my thing, for example, with Asians in math is that, I've talked about this before, is that a lot of immigrants come to America, and we call those middle minorities. Basically immigrants who come and they have a very much a mindset of education, get a good job, and build generational wealth. So for a lot of Asians who come from China, Japan, Taiwan, Korea, they have a very much a mindset of getting education and pick a good job in science or engineering. So a lot of times their culture is you come home, you study. And that's why Asians tend to really skyrocket in testing in America, because they have a very much a culture of discipline. And then a lot of their parents kind of encourage them, sometimes force them to go into fields that make a lot of money, lawyers, doctors, that kind of thing. And math is definitely needed in engineering and science. So it makes sense that you would see a huge abundance of Asians that are good at math. It's because they study well, and because they tend to go into these fields where math is required. It's the same with black people in violence and thuggery. There's a huge stereotypes that black people are these thugs who will rob or just, kill you or whatever. And though that's not every black person, that stereotype is rooted in truth. I've talked about this on plenty of times on my channel about BLM and all that kind of stuff, that there's a huge population of black Americans in America who are raised without fathers. And when you're raised without a father, you tend to fall into that street life. And there is a healthy amount of blacks who do fall into gang culture in the hood. So though I always say judge the person by the individual, not by the stereotype, it is true, or it is safe to assume that a certain person may be part of that stereotype until they kind of prove to you that they're not. Another big stereotype is that Asian men have small wieners. I think I've talked about this before on my channel, but it is a common thing that Asian men are thought to be less masculine. You know, they're not as big or intimidating. They're more feminine in nature. And there's also a stereotype that, you know, Asian men have small wieners. And though I didn't really care much about this stereotype, when I went to Japan the first time and I went to an onsen, and in Japanese culture, you know, people take baths naked together, which is very uncommon in America compared to Japan. And I remember going in onsen and seeing these Japanese men naked, and you're gonna see the junk, you know, so you see their wieners and like, dang, they're huge. I know some people are gonna be like, dude, you're gay. No, it's just a simple observation. I've seen some Asian dudes with some big, you know, carrying a big load, you know? So to me, it was like, dang, you know, like, it could be true that maybe a lot of Asians don't have small, but I mean, I've seen evidence that it's not. I guess in some ways, some stereotypes are more rooted in truth and others may be more obscure in nature. But, you know, to me, I don't really subscribe to that as much anymore because I'm like, I've seen it with my own eyes. So maybe that's just my anecdotal evidence, my small sample of maybe something that's not as common, but I can't say for sure. But that's just an example of how, you know, the thing you believe may not necessarily be that for the over majority of that group. It's also the same for Japanese, how there's a stereotype that a lot of Japanese commit suicide. Now, I know this is a very sensitive topic, but you know, it's kind of true that Japan has a huge suicide rate. And we all know about the kamikaze fighters in World War II that, you know, would kill themselves in like planes or whatever. So, I mean, that stereotype is true. Now, I believe in a way a lot of people can use stereotypes to demean people, and which I don't think is, you know, necessarily right. And even me and my friend, we joke around and make racist joke all the time. It doesn't mean we're racist. It just means that, you know, we like very dark humor, you know. But I'm at the point where, like, I'm not surprised either way. Like, for me, you know, in America, I wouldn't be what you call traditionally Black American. You know, I'm very versatile in what I like, how I dress, how I talk. You know, one second I can talk basic, simple English. Another time I can talk very broken English. I could talk Jamaican patois. I can talk, you know, slang or Ebonics, what we call language in like the projects. You know, so I'm very versatile. And because of that, you know, a lot of people don't think I am necessarily Black. I'm more of a white guy in a Black man's body. And that's a whole nother video topic, but that's just another to go to show that I don't really portray the stereotypes of Black people as I should be. I'm not that great at basketball. I have a decent body. I'm very good athletically, decent wise. You know, I don't rap, or I used to rap. Let me say that. You know, I'm not that suave, cool guy that a lot of Blacks seem to carry that image, or they're known for that image of being that cool rapper dude. I'm not really that. I'm just me. You know, so in a lot of ways, I think you should allow that person to prove or disprove if they actually do fit that stereotype. And you can't blame people for, you know, thinking a certain way. If you see yourself a certain behavior in a group of people, you're going to associate that behavior pattern with that group of people. However, I think it's important for us as individuals to judge the person by the person, not by the country they come from, not by the color of their skin, not by, you know, whatever outside appearance they may look. Judge the person by the individual. Now, if they fall into that category, if they fit the stereotype, then cool, it happens. If they don't and they're an outlier, hey, I'm not surprised either, because people are different. There's literally almost 7 billion of us on this planet. So, I mean, you're gonna find people who are just strange or don't fit the stigma that a lot of people would put them in, or the box that people will put them in. But you guys let me know what you guys think of stereotypes in the comment section below. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. Also, hit that bell as well to get notified whenever we post a video. Arigatou gozaimasu. Minasan. じゃあね。